Franck Magennis, some of you may have heard of him already. I certainly have. He's doing this extraordinary job as a communist lawyer representing Hamas to have their prescription deproscribed. Now that must be a really interesting role to take. So Franck, what was it for you? What's it been for you?
I would describe my politics as communist, and I wasn't always a communist. I sort of went on a journey to arrive at communist politics, and I suppose there's not enough time here for me to properly talk about that journey. It's like, in some way, there's this whole process of accumulation. I'm very grateful to comrades over the years who challenged my politics and made them sharper. I would say that I think my route to communism started in the occupied north of Ireland, where I grew up. And I had this sort of experience of the tail end of what's sometimes called the Troubles. So I had this experience of the violent domination of the British Empire in the north of Ireland. And I think I just developed this politics which was based upon rejecting domination. Like, I just don't like being dominated. And, you know, Hegel has this really, like, Marx was obviously very heavily influenced by Hegel. Hegel has this very interesting stuff about master-slave, relationship. Like, really, in the relationship between the master and the slave has the true power, because at any point the slave has the power to refuse domination and to reassert the human equality between master and slave, and to refuse that dynamic. And so I think for it to mean anything, communist politics has to be about an opposition to domination. In terms of moments where my commitment to a kind of, I would say, liberal, romantic Irish nationalism that I've now rejected, this kind of, I'm Irish, I came to England to do my undergrad and was very kind of opposed to British people. Like British people were personally responsible for the colonization of Ireland, which is a politics that I now reject. And it was a lot of English communists who were among the people who helped me on my journey towards communism. And I would say there's this one moment that sticks out in my mind, and it's quite a ridiculous moment. My friend Ashok Kumar was organizing a rave in solidarity with some Bangladeshi migrant workers in East London. And I was outside this rave talking to this Trotskyist guy. I was still kind of relatively confused in my politics at that point. And this woman came up and overheard the conversation between the two of us. And I've never met her again. I never got her name. And she listened to the conversation, and she just interrupted and said to me, "Are you a liberal or a communist?" And I gave this really confused postmodern liberal answer. And halfway through my answer, she just said, "Oh, I see, you're a liberal," and walked off. And it's like, I still think about it. I'm still here talking about it today. It's like, it was this very powerful provocation. She was like, "You don't know what you are." And she was right. And it forced me to reckon with what I wanted to be. And so I chose communism. And so I think thinking about domination, thinking about the fact that I'm Irish, I grew up in the north of Ireland, is part of it. But I'm here to suggest that anyone can choose to have the correct position. Anyone can choose to have good politics. I would suggest that we should all be communists. I think that we should side with the international working class in their struggle against the forces of the bourgeois capitalist state and the US-led totality that is dominating people. I don't think we can understand the genocide in Palestine without understanding the way that global reality is determined more than anything else by US capitalism. But I hope that's a kind of meandering, rough and ready history of how I came to my politics. I just think we should spit in the face of people who try and dominate us.